newspaper do you read? I read O Globo, okay. Which is one of the most popular newspapers in this country? Which is one of the most popular newspapers in this country? One of the most popular newspapers in this country is Folha de São Paulo. Okay, very well. Do you often read magazines? Do you often read magazines? No, I don't often read magazines. Okay, so what's the past of sell? What's the past of sell? The past of sell is sold. Sold, okay? Which shop sold you your shoes? Which shop sold you your shoes?
My shoes
Were sold by
Marina Hot.
Hot, okay. So what do we use to make a fire? What do we use to make a fire? We use coal. To make a fire. To make a fire, okay. What colors coal? What colors coal? Coal is black. Perfect. So in a restaurant, what do we look at to decide what we want to eat? In a restaurant, what do we look at to decide what we want to eat? In a restaurant, we look at the menu. Look at the menu to decide what we want to eat. Okay, very well. So, did you decide to study English yourself, or did somebody in your family decide for you? Did you decide to study English, or did somebody in your family decide for you? I decide to study English. Okay, so explain the difference between the present continuous and the present simple. The present continuous and the present simple. The difference between the present continuous and the present simple is that the present continuous is happening at the moment. At the moment. Whereas the present simple is for an action we do generally. Generally. Okay, so what's she doing? She is explaining the difference between the present continuous and the present simple. Okay. Which place in the world do you think is most like heaven? Which place in the world do you think is most like heaven? I think most like heaven.
Is
okay, very well. So what's the opposite of heaven? What's the opposite of heaven? The opposite of heaven is perfect. So is it a good idea to book a table before going to a very popular restaurant? Is it a good idea to book a table before going to a very popular restaurant?
Yes.
It's a good idea. To book a table before going to a very popular restaurant. Okay? Restaurant, okay? Pronunciation, restaurant. So, do you always try hard to answer the questions I ask you? Do you always try hard to answer the questions I ask you? Yes, I always try hard to answer the questions you ask me. Okay, perfect. So, are you always willing to try anything new? Are you always willing to try anything new?
Yes.
I'm always willing to try. Okay, could be anything new. Okay, anything new as well. So, do some people sometimes try to do the impossible? Do some people sometimes try to do the impossible? Yes. Some people sometimes try to do the impossible. Okay. So, are cities quiet places to live in? Are cities quiet places to live in? No, cities are quiet places to live in. They are noisy places to live in.